Year number 2 for you.
Yes, indeed.
So how does this year, 2011, compare to last?
You know what? This show this year is fantastic. As soon as I walked in, actually, this morning, after seeing you this morning, one of the best things about it that hit me straight away is the level of interactivity. When you walk in, there's so many people from different, Robbie Savage is walking around, Peter Taylor's there answering questions with different people. There's lots for people to do.
Explain to everybody what your role at Birmingham City is. Because your title in the brochure says that you're a sports psychologist, but explain to everyone what that actually means.
I actually have stopped using that, to be honest, because as soon as you mention psychology or psychologist, it's a subjectively loaded word and people sort of almost turn off to it, and there's a little bit of danger with that. But I think the best way to describe what I do is I recognise the importance of the mental and emotional aspects of performance. So how is it and why is it that players are more confident at other times than throughout the season than others? Why do people feel less nervous or less anxious for certain big games compared to other less important or perceived less important games? So I think to probably define my role as just a sports psychologist might be a bit too prescriptive. But what I would say is that it's really about peak performance, about performing at your best when it matters the most under pressure. How does that happen? What are the mental and emotional aspects of performance that need to be worked with?
So that automatically sounds like it lends itself to the professional game, but it doesn't, does it? You can share your key principles with any coach that's here over the weekend.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that I'm so privileged to be here, really, because I'm getting lots of different questions about the same things. So the things that the professionals go through, why do I get nervous when there's a Carling Cup final, for example, is the same reason, the same root reason why an under-7 might get nervous when he's going out to play on a Sunday for the first time. And the reasons why we get anxious and the reasons why we're confident relate to anybody at any level, and especially at the grassroots level. It's a very important aspect that coaches need to be aware of, because they've got such an important position. I think the coaches have got a very, very important role because they are in control of the environment that the players are coming into, as well as the technical information that they're giving. And I think probably in this country we've been a little bit, certainly in the last 10 years, we've been a bit better at this. But I think previously, traditionally in this country, we've been all about technical information, all about tactical information, all about physical development. But actually, there's much more to a person or a player, or grassroots or professionally, right the way through, than just those three components.
Explain to everybody, if I'm a grassroots coach, how can I incorporate some of the key aspects that you teach as a coach and psychologist to integrate that into my sort of coaching sort of methodology?
Number one, how do I make the players feel when they come to the training ground, wherever that may be, whether it's the local park or whether it's a magnificent facility, millions of pounds? How do I structure the environment that is one that players say, I tell you what, I love being here. I want to be here early. I want to be here every single day of the week. Because that's, if you can connect with that passion in players and they can feel energised and enthusiastic and passionate about being in that environment, then that's crucial. So coaches need to structure that environment accordingly. So variation of practice. They have to know that every time they come, we're going to be doing something different. It's fresh, it's energetic, it's enthusiastic. It's going to create that environment that they love being in. I think one of the key things is that you've got to make players feel valued and purposeful. So if they know that the coach can really relate to them at their age, so what is the latest TV show that they might have been watching? What have they done after school? Take a real interest in the person outside the player, and you're more likely to get a passionate response because you're showing them that actually you value them as a person, and they'll want them to be passionate and train with you and give you more in the coaching session. So it's this concept of, if you like, knowing this person before the player and then getting the best from the player after that.
Do you think we've got to be careful to make sure that the fun factor is still the most important factor for players?
That is one of the most, if not the most important factor of any one coaching session at any age level, at any ability level. We have to be able to create the right environment for the players to enjoy themselves. Because why is it that the players take up playing football in the first place? Because they've got a natural love and interest and passion and enthusiasm to play the game. Our job as coaches at any level should be to support that enthusiasm, encourage that fun aspect and enjoyment of the practices, because that's what's going to, if you look at the first team, for example, at any club, and even at Birmingham, it's really important. We do lots of little different sessions like head tennis, for example. Something very simple, it's fun, it keeps the players in tune. We all need a little bit of fun and enjoyment, whatever job we do, but especially for the young players, it's very important that they're in contact with the enjoyment of the session, because that's going to give them the ingredients to go on and want to give more to you if you're my coach.
What is it that you learn when you watch someone like Alex McLeish take a session that you could share with some of the people that are obviously here over this weekend?
Yeah, sure. I think you're absolutely right. He's a great manager. He's done exceptionally well with the players that he's had this year. Winning the Carling Cup trophy was a magnificent achievement for the squad. I think the one thing that I would say that, because there are so many things that I could mention, but the number one thing that I think I've learned this year would be to say that it's not all about the technical, tactical, physical information that you know as a coach. It's more about, once you get to that level, how can you inspire and how can you keep these players in tune, enjoy the sessions and be more passionate about wanting to perform for you. So you almost get to the stage where at the top it becomes about managing the mentality and the mindset of the players and the staff to want to keep working for you. So I think watching his sessions, I've really learned, and you're absolutely right, I'm really privileged to be there full time, but I think that would be the number one thing I've learned from him and his staff, and that is, how do you manage the mindset? How do you keep people motivated? And how do you keep people performing week in, week out, even if and especially when they face setbacks? Because we do. So it becomes less about the technical, tactical, physical information and more about the mental, emotional, psychological setup of a session.
And then my final question is, Grassroots Show 2012, will you be back?
Absolutely.
Explain to everybody, if I'm a grassroots coach, how can I incorporate some of the key aspects that you teach as a coaching psychologist to integrate that into my sort of coaching sort of methodology?
Number one, how do I make the players feel when they come to the training ground, wherever that may be, whether it's the local park or whether it's a magnificent facility, millions of pounds? How do I structure the environment that is one that players say, I tell you what, I love being here. I want to be here early. I want to be here every single day of the week, because that's, if you can connect with that passion in players and they can feel energized and enthusiastic and passionate about being in that environment, then that's crucial. So coaches need to structure that environment accordingly. So variation of practice. They have to know that every time they come, we're going to be doing something different. It's fresh, it's energetic, it's enthusiastic. It's going to create that environment that they love being in. I think one of the key things is that you've got to make players feel valued and purposeful. So if they know that the coach can really relate to them at their age, so what is the latest TV show that they might have been watching? What have they done after school? Take a real interest in the person outside the player, and you're more likely to get a passionate response because you're showing them that actually you value them as a person, and they'll want them to be passionate and train with you and give you more in the coaching session. So it's this concept of, if you like, knowing this person before the player and then getting the best from the player after that.
Do you think we've got to be careful to make sure that the fun factor is still the most important factor for players?
That is one of the most, if not the most important factor of any one coaching session at any age level, at any ability level. We have to be able to create the right environment for the players to enjoy themselves. Because why is it that the players take up playing football in the first place? Because they've got a natural love and interest and passion and enthusiasm to play the game. Our job as coaches at any level should be to support that enthusiasm, encourage that fun aspect and enjoyment of the practices, because that's what's going to, if you look at the first team, for example, at any club and even at Birmingham, it's really important. We do lots of little different sessions like head tennis, for example. Something very simple, it's fun, it keeps the players in tune. We all need a little bit of fun and enjoyment, whatever job we do, but especially for the young players, it's very important that they're in contact with the enjoyment of the session, because that's going to give them the ingredients to go on and want to give more to you if you're my coach.